Welcome to the Indie Author Life Show, a space dedicated to sharing the unique stories of authors and creatives within the self-publishing space. My name is MG Hunt, and today I'm here with a powerhouse author, Rachel O'Rourke, and we're here to chat about her writing life. So thank you so much for joining me today, Rachel. I have many questions for you that are related not only to your writing and your publications, but also about how you navigate the self-publishing space in the way of marketing, social media, presentation, and all of that stuff. So I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Oh my God, no. Well, again, I know we were chatting just off recording about this, but every event that I've gone to, like a book event, and that I've seen you at, I'm always in awe with how you present all of your material with your books, with your merch, with your stand and everything. It really seems to me that you've got a method to how you're putting things together and you've put a lot of work into it. Is that right?
Oh, thank you. Yes, yes. Look, there is a lot of thought, and that thought is what's going to draw people to my table. Because you're in an environment where you've surrounded yourself by 30, 40, sometimes another 80 other authors. Some of these signing events, they say there's 100 plus authors there. And you go, well, what's going to make someone stop by and look at my work based on all the other tables if they don't know your name?
That's right.
And that's the first thing that comes into my mind in terms of my setup. It's
Mhm.
it's drawing someone to you, whether it's a sign, whether it's the color, whether it's a particular merchandise item that's really unique and
Yes.
hasn't been seen before or is really hard to maybe get access to. And people are like, oh, I've been looking for that, or that's really cool. And it
Cool.
draws someone to you. And then you go, oh, by the way, have you read this? Are you interested in that? And it's that little bit of
Yeah.
like
Yeah, something different, something that sets you
yeah, yeah.
apart.
It
Yeah.
just it's like that casual of "Hi, how are you?" type of thing. But if someone's so far away you can't do that, it's then bringing them to you to then initiate it. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
interesting. No, I think that, and we'll get into it a bit further in our chat around some of the specifics and things that you've done to curate your uh, in-person presence as well as your online presence. But to begin with where we are right now compared to where we were last year, because you were on the show kind of around the same time in 2025. I think it was May, but look, it all blurs into one. It all blurs
March,
into.
April, May. Yeah, when I was
Yeah.
looking back at myself, I was like,
Hmm.
"Whoa."
When was that? Yeah. And I remember when we were chatting, we were talking about like Little One and the books that you had re-released from some uh with the publishing
The hybrid.
the
Yeah.
hybrid publisher, and then you were re-releasing your books, and now where we are right now, I feel like again a lot can happen in 11, 12 months.
Mm.
It's amazing to see how much like you were already starting in such a amazing place, and now I feel like there's no stopping you. It's just so impressive to see. So I want to get into one of your latest publications because I know there'll be some more coming out that you have teased about
Yes,
the
yes.
Omegaverse and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
if we go back to your publication, Pretending in Paradise, I was looking at this novel and I mean, first of all, the cover art. Amazing chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful, so beautiful. And so I feel like it's more like a light-hearted story compared to your earlier work, if that's
Oh,
correct.
100%. This one doesn't even have like a content warning. And
Oh,
I
cool.
had a bookstore message me and they're like, is there a content warning for Pretending Paradise? I was like, nope, no
Wow.
triggers. You're good.
And they were like, we
Just
just better check because, it seems
yeah.
like it's from your track record. Yes, it's good to, they're very familiar that there will be some content warnings and that. And so this
Mm.
one is definitely more, yeah, lighthearted, maybe a bit humorous and stuff. And I'm interested to know what
Mhm.
inspired you to take this story in a different direction, maybe to your previous works.
There was definitely a lot of elements into play with this. So the first being that while I was writing Pretending in Paradise, I was very heavy in the process of special editions. So there was a lot of like work having to go behind the scenes for that. It was very much knowing that my next book was going to be this Omegaverse one, which was going to be quite heavy, quite long because it was a trilogy.
Hmm.
And I was sitting there going, man, I just need to break it up for myself a little
Yep.
bit. I need something that's going to be kind of easy to jump in and out of with writing. I
Yeah.
need something that's not going to be too exhausting on me mentally.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, um there was, Jonathan Bailey's Slutty Little Glasses kind of, you know, floating around online, and I was like, oof, ooh, yeah, I need a character with slutty little glasses.
It's hilarious.
Um, yeah, so I was having a lot of fun just writing back and forth with my alpha and beta team and cracking jokes and this and that. And then I went, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna write a little rom-com. And the concept really started with the very first scene in the chapter, which is what is gonna happen to my character if a bartender pretends to be his boyfriend and kiss him in front of his ex. And I was
My
like,
goodness.
how's that going to play out from here on? So,
Great
yeah, it
start.
was a really enjoyable process in terms of um, the way I could just dive in and not have to think too hard on some of the more
Yeah.
uh, heavier subjects that I'm used to writing.
Yeah.
But there was still some elements in there where it was like, okay, would my character be doing this? Is this like now going too far? Is it being a little too
Mm.
cheesy? So there's still things you have to take into account, even when you write something that's a bit more lighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it all came from, and
Wow.
it's it's been great because it has brought new readership to my work because they've picked up something light and something fun,
Hmm.
and they've gone, oh, this is great, who's this Rachel? And then they've later on gone and read another story.
How
Hmm.
interesting. I find that really interesting that you knew already from the point that you were getting into Pretending in Paradise. And I know maybe at that point, before you decided to release it, maybe you were umming and ahhing about which direction it's going to go. But I find that interesting that you already had planned for the Omegaverse trilogy.
Mm.
And so when you got into Pretending in Paradise, it was like this is a forced break in some
Yeah.
ways from the heavier stuff. And I do think that's important to protect our mental fortitude because you do write topics that are heavy. And I can imagine it's kind of like a bit of a I don't know whether it feels like an unnatural pivot for you to write in the like rom-com space. I don't know. What would you think about that?
It wasn't unnatural in the sense that I've written like a lot of like comical lighter stuff just for myself before. It was unnatural for me though, knowing, is this funny? Like,
Yeah.
what you can find funny, other people might not. Like I'm sitting there laughing at my characters going, "Oh, but is this joke someone else's like humor, or is this going to come across as offensive or come across as like more silly?" So that started playing in the back of my head.
Oh, interesting.
And then I think too, when I was writing it, it was that very much the frenemies. So they were friends, but it was that person that you just get annoyed with when you're
Yeah.
around them for too long. And I'm sitting there going, how am I going to make them actually start liking each other? Like
Hmm.
how, without it being that cliche. And there is
Yeah.
absolutely nothing wrong with cliches. We all enjoy a good rom-com here
Yeah.
and there where we know exactly how the story's going to end.
Yep.
But it was just trying to find something that was that little bit different. It's what I like to try and do with all my books. What is that element that's a little bit different, that
Yes.
isn't the same recipe for all fake
Yeah.
dating, one bed rom-com books. Yeah.
Yes. That is
Yeah.
really interesting again because I look at comedy as a genre. I feel like it's something that seems really hard to put into words rather than like comedy feels something that comes like conversationally, or it just feels like, oh, we're just having a laugh because you get to know the person. But actually putting it to paper, that like I don't know how comedians do it. So for
Yeah.
you to approach it and go for a lot of humorous takes in Pretending in Paradise, I tip my hat off to you because I don't think I could approach it because I would have the exact same thoughts as you, like, oh, this is so funny. I'm just loving my own stuff. And then you think about it, you're like, oh, wait, is this
Also
actually
funny.
funny?
And that happens. Like
Yeah.
I sit there and I make a joke, and then my partner's like, "That wasn't funny," and I was like, "Oh, come on, yes, it was."
Come on.
So
Yeah.
it's, I think mood also plays a big thing in it,
Yeah.
So the same way you have a mood reader, you have a mood
Yes.
writer. So depending on my mood, jokes can come across differently, or
True.
maybe when the book started taking a little bit of a serious turn, that was when I was like, all right, let's
Dial it
get
down.
more deep into it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's, I guess, too, if someone's reading the book and not necessarily in that headspace, a joke can go completely
Yeah.
over them, or they're like, nah, that wasn't funny, or
Mm.
and it misses the boat. So it is a
It's
little bit,
valid.
I think, of a tougher niche in a way.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
you've got your dramas and your more heavier subjects, and you can pin them down spot on as long as you get the right emotional elements.
Yes.
Across the board, everyone's going to be feeling that, but a good laugh, yeah, can go
Oh,
either way.
it's such a challenge, I can imagine, and for you to take on that challenge coming from a space where you do write stuff that is quite emotional and serious in the topics, and then go, let's have fun with this. Yeah, get you a girl that can do both. That's all I can say. Amazing, amazing that you're able to do that.
Thank you. Look,
So
a friend
cool.
of mine said they go, you're funny. You're like this, you're that. You got to display it. And I was like, I know, but I'm trying to also come across as professional. So when I do like my marketing videos and my TikToks, I'm like, I can easily make a fool of myself because it's
Yeah,
what I'm like with my friends.
yeah.
But it's that balance of you're also trying to make a business of yourself. So where do you
Yeah.
draw the line, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But I think if your intentions are pure, and I think that you know that you're doing the right thing and you're not, trying to offend anyone or anything like that, I think that it will come across as your natural self is who you are, and that's coming across in your social media and also in your writing too. So it's very, very impressive that you've been able to genre hop a little bit. And then I can imagine for the next one, now it's like into the trilogy with the Omegaverse, that's probably where things are getting a bit more serious again. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some like light-hearted parts to it, but yes. Do you want to touch on where you're up to in the writing process of the Omegaverse series?
So, book one, Until He Found Him, has been sent off to my lovely editor, Hummingbird Editing.
Yeah.
She's currently in the process of doing her first round of edits and copy and line edits. And I begin writing book two in May. So I've got some of it plotted out already. It needs a little bit of plot in this trilogy, obviously, because I need to make sure I'm connecting things, it's flowing in the right direction to then where it leads for the final book. But yeah, there was a few surprises in book one that even myself, I was like, oh, okay, I've done this now.
Yeah.
How am I going to work this in? Which is why it went from a duology to a trilogy,
Wow.
because I was like, I need more time to explore this and
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah, I'm very excited. It's the first time I've dived into a trilogy, and the only part that makes me nervous about that is the whole, will I have enough story to tell?
Yeah.
Like you sit there going, yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
this is everything I've got mapped out, but then you get to maybe the end of book two and it's like, oh, I've only got maybe this much left to tell. How can I
Mm.
extend on it or something? So I
Yeah.
really needed to sit down first and really explore some of the
Mm.
not paranormal elements because unfortunately Omegaverse is not yet its own genre. So you
Uh-huh.
do have to label it as a romantasy and you have to label it as paranormal um,
Okay.
because of the slight situations that happen within the universe. And
Okay.
so I had to, yeah, kind of work in with, okay, how am I going to explain this and how am I going to make this work for people that know the genre and also not know the genre and
Mm.
make it easily understandable for first time readers without, really kind of sitting there like you're explaining it to a first grader or something.
Well,
Like
I
no one
appreciate.
likes to read a book and it feels like it's a little bit of a so this is when blah blah, and you go, no.
No, look, but for someone who, like myself, who is like, I didn't even realize the Omegaverse was a thing until it was like explained to me, and I was like, oh, I know what's going. Yeah, that I'm
Oh,
familiar
I've
with
heard
it
of
now.
that
So
before.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time with this series to explain for the newbies.
Well, that's the thing. It made me nervous because I've had this story for a long time, but being that it is Omegaverse, that's why it was on the back burner. I was like, let's bring out See You Again, let's bring out Little One, let's now do a rom-com. Let's build a bit of a following of people that know how I write, what type of story they're gonna get.
Yep.
And then if I give them something like an Omegaverse, they're still gonna know what my voice is like, what type of challenges my characters are going to go through. But yes, it's added this little bit of a
Yeah.
paranormal twist, as you say,
Yeah.
um, to it. And so now during my promoting marketing way of doing everything right now, it's very much finding ways to entice new readers and be like, this is what you're going to get. This is
Yep.
what the world is like. This is
Mm.
what you're going to be walking into. It's
Yeah.
not very different to XYZ. If you've read Omegaverse in like a shifter element, what are the
Yes.
similarities? What are the differences? And yeah, just really try and
Mm.
coddle some readers to
Yes.
then be like, please take a chance. Like I promise this is not going to be too crazy.
Oh, I think a lot of your audience would already be open to whatever that you put out, really.
Yeah. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I have had a few that are like, oh,
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a
really?
go because it's you. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
then my prologue got sent out to my newsletter subscribers, and I had a couple people message me going, if this is the world I'm about to go into, give it to me now. And I was like, okay, yep, okay. And they're like, I've
Amazing.
never read Omegaverse, but that, yes. And I was like, okay, you're gonna enjoy
Wow.
it.
So you've got people, you've converted people that are like, oh, I don't even know what this is, and I want to be a part of it. Wow, wow, wow. There you go. I think you're on the precipice of something very exciting, Rachel. I can't
I'm
wait.
very, very excited by it. I'm really proud of the writing of this story. It's very
Hmm.
different in terms of having three voices. There's three point of views through the
Wow.
book. So that was really different too. It's why it took
Nice.
longer to write because it was swapping
Yeah.
between each chapter. Well, not each chapter, but when I went to each character, it
Mm.
like took a while to kind of get back into that headspace and how
Yeah.
that character spoke and how that character thought.
Oof.
Um,
It's hard.
and yeah, and one of my characters is Levi, the main MC. He's very like that proper, um,
Mm.
speaks every word, doesn't use conjunctions, that kind of thing, because it's how he's representing himself, and
Yep.
not so much because that's the world and everything. It's just how he's
That's
wants
how
to
he
be
is.
perceived. So yeah,
Yeah.
chopping and changing between all of that, it was a
It's
bit of a
challenging.
challenge, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
That-
Yeah.
I'm glad that you think it's fun, definitely, and I think that's the main thing, as long as you're having fun. But it does sound to me like it is like a bit of a passion project, and you were like, I'm going to do this, like warming in the audience in some other ways with what you'd previously done, and then when it got to Pretending in Paradise, it was like a maybe like a cut from then what goes on forward, which is what you've been wanting to write for a while, as you mentioned before. So it's really cool.
Yeah, look, I love the Omegaverse genre. It's one of my faves, but it's also one of my faves where it has to be done in a particular way
Yeah.
because it is that. paranormal element, there is so much room for
Mm.
playing. And that's
Yes.
great for writers, great for readers, because it means you're not always getting the same thing. But
Yeah.
also for someone like myself, I sit there
Oh.
going, but that's been
Mm.
changed too much from the law or from the way it's meant to be. And so for me, I'm
Ah.
just like, no, like,
Well, this is it
give
too. Like, it's just kind of dawned on me, and like, I don't know why I didn't put these two together, but like, your previous work didn't have paranormal elements in it, and now you're going into it. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
And I mean, I wouldn't call it paranormal. Like they're
Hmm.
still human, but they have these abilities. And
Yeah.
anything with an ability makes it, I guess, paranormal.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so as much as I love the genre, yes, I haven't probably read as much as I would because I'm
Mhm.
sitting there like, how does this person write it? How does that person write it? Like, what am I getting myself
Mm.
into?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, so I stuck to the elements that I love about Omegaverse, which is very much that fated mates. It's the world where it's one alpha for one omega. It's all they want. And it's
Yes.
very much when they find each other, it strengthens them individually, it strengthens them as a couple. Um, and then I took it down a different path because I took it down the whole Omegas are very much always written as weak. They're always written as
Ah,
being used
yeah.
for sexual pleasures, things like
Yeah.
that, which is still touched on in my book, but I did it
Mm.
in a way that it wasn't automatically perceived as that for
Yeah.
their status, but it was more of just the way the world
Mm.
eventually became. The
Interesting.
way a status ended up being labeled due to power, due to segregation, due to prejudice, due to the incorrect
Mm.
information that was shared about each
Ah.
status, things like that. So it was without even realizing it at the time. And now, as I look back and I'm trying to market it, it was, yeah, me going, how do people see one another based
Mm.
on what we're being told in the world?
Well, which is always something that is relevant, hyper relevant in our society right now with
Yeah.
misinformation and everything like that. But I think that you're in a, this is just my opinion, I think that you're primed to write stories that do subvert stereotypes in the way of the dominant and submissive character tropes, because I think that you had explored that in your previous work. And now when it comes into the Omegaverse, which from my limited understanding, does have kind of some stricter elements around that. So
Yeah.
now that you're approaching it from, I'm going to start twisting the narrative of what you're familiar with in regards to the sub and the dom, and that's just putting it again like a stereotype. But
Mm.
I think yeah, you're wanting to maybe push boundaries with that. So it's really exciting to see that there's like a bit of a change up with
Yeah.
what's going on in
Yeah.
your
And
world.
you're not wrong. That is pretty much what I was doing and wanting to show that that yeah, you can have the
Hmm.
Omega, that's not the stereotypical Omega. You can
Yeah.
have a world that, everyone was kind of living in peace and harmony and everyone was of equal
Yeah.
rights, equal status. And then, the few that band together and start saying, well, technically we're stronger and technically we're this,
Mm.
we can make this work in our favor.
Yes.
What happens?
What
Yeah.
happens? I'm excited.
What happens?
I think it's going to be so cool to see where it goes from here. So,
Yeah.
leading into maybe more of your marketing perspectives and how you've been navigating the social media space, I am curious to get into a bit more about the online persona that you've been curating, which is certainly not a persona that differs from who you are in person, I will say. It is very natural and fun, and it looks very clear with what you're marketing on your Instagram in particular. So, if we get into a little bit about that, how important is it for you to curate a distinct author brand for yourself, the author that is Rachel O'Rourke?
For my sanity of OCD, very, very important. Yes, I keep a nice little aesthetic structure on my page. I didn't when I first started this little journey, and as I kept going back to my page, I was like, this looks chaotic. And if it looks chaotic to me, I was thinking, how's that going to look for a reader that comes to my page for the first time and is trying to find something, or you know?
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing my my colors, which is like the green, the purple, the white. They were the colors of my logo. So I started wanting to repeat on them um
Very
in my
cool.
post. And then I was just trying to, yeah, I was wanting to do things that it grabs you in the post, not in the description, because
Hmm.
no one really reads the description anymore. They don't have the time to do that unless there's like some real nitty-gritty details they need.
Yeah.
If that video, if that picture, if that like title doesn't draw someone in while they're scrolling and flicking, then you're gonna lose them straight away.
Yep.
And I was recently watching an interview where someone said even movies these days are getting written in such a basic way because they know people will be scrolling online while
Yes.
watching a movie.
I've heard
So
that.
now
Mm.
the movies, they're literally wording every plot detail because they have to expect people are kind of half listening and half doing this. So with that
Mm.
in mind, I'm like, what's going to draw someone straight away while they're doing that? And yes, so
Yeah.
that's the main key while marketing. It's that quick little
Like, look at
incentive
me.
to make someone go, "Whoop, what was that?"
Because
And
we are
then
scrolling. Like I am going through my phone as much as I've on a bit of a social media break at the moment, but because I
good.
do think that's necessary. You need to have some time away from it. But when I do get on, it's just a habit to just go poof, poof, poof. Like it's just
Yeah,
so quick to just scroll, scroll, scroll. So you're very conscious of grabbing people's attention with your
yeah.
graphics.
And it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
Like even when I made a video the other day, I was like, well, this is a professional way to start it. And I was like, okay, but they're gonna hear the first like 2 seconds of the video. What's gonna make them stop to keep watching it? So I kind of like
Mm.
flipped the script a little and added in a little like pun joke, and then I was like, all right, let's see if this works. And yeah, it's it's been getting more views than my other videos for the first time. I was like, all right, this is what I need to do now.
Yeah.
But it takes time. It
Yeah.
takes time. And you can have so many followers, and that doesn't mean they're all going to be seeing your work. It doesn't mean they're all liking it, commenting it, sharing it.
No.
And it's very frustrating on yourself when you might sit there and be like, I spent an hour and a half making this, and then you post it online and, gets
Get
nowhere.
yeah, it gets nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So,
yeah.
yeah, I think the main thing is being direct with what you're showing, putting it in the post straight away. Don't put it in the description. Um,
Yes.
and very much just give that information that people are going to need. You don't have to sit there, I guess, posting about everything
Yep.
because not everyone's going to be caring about that. Just give them the big main details. Hey,
Mm.
here's the blurb. Here's now maybe a little bit about the character. Here's a little snippet. Here's a countdown to it. And just keep reminding people this book is coming. This is what this book is about. Here's a
Yep.
little bit more about it. But yeah, if you just shove too much, they'll be like, okay, like
Yeah. Moving on.
scroll
Don't
past.
really care,
Heard
you
this one
know.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because there's a part that goes, I want to put effort into what I post and I want to be purposeful about it. But I also know that we do live in a superficial world and, for better or for worse. And that's just a neutral statement. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But social media is where the superficiality really comes out. And I know that there will certainly be people that, and you probably know this as well, that will automatically see a post from you and like it no matter what it is. Okay, oh, Rachel's post again. Like, and stuff. But that interaction it's so quick. It's just, you look and like, and that's that. Does the message get across? Does it kind of do they remember what you were trying to let people know about something like a product that's coming out or a release date and all that stuff? But what I can see with your Instagram in particular is that because you have curated it so nicely, is that it is like a directory when people go visit the Instagram page and they go, what was she saying again with that release date and all that? Oh, let me just scroll up. I can easily find it because it's a clear graphic that you've put effort into. So it's working, I feel, your time
I
and
hope.
attention. Yeah, it is.
I think too, using highlights, a lot of people forget that you can make highlights on your Instagram. A really quick way, if you've made a post about a book that you posted 3 years ago, which is going to be at the very, very, very bottom of your feed, chuck it in a highlight. And if they
Yeah.
can see, oh, yep, there's Be My Saving Grace, click that. And then there's all that important information they need for that book. It's right there. They're not scrolling and scrolling. Like, because
No.
that happened to me. I came across a book from an author. I of course already see details are lost, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so what, is this one out yet or is it coming? And I'm there scrolling and all I see is posts on their new book. And I was like, no, that's not it. It was an
That's not what
old
I
one.
want. Yeah.
And I was like, nah, can't find it. Done.
These
Yeah.
little things are the things that, of course, as self-published authors, we're like, oh, here we go, another thing to add to the list of things to think about.
I know.
But those little things are very helpful. So thank you for giving us that piece of advice around the highlights thing, because I think I need to get onto that a bit more. I know that with my Instagram, I have highlights dedicated for each of the books. I should
Mhm.
actually go and clean that up now that you have mentioned.
Very important.
Now that you've
It might
mentioned.
not seem like it is, but it is. Uh,
And so with also your social media, do you use TikTok as well? Is that
yes,
right? Yes. And do
I
you
do. So I
find,
have
yeah, sorry, keep going.
I, no, no, sorry. I have a Facebook page which pretty
Facebook.
much just posts automatically what was on my Instagram to there.
Yep.
I find a different generation is on the Facebook
Yes.
side of it,
Yep.
and Facebook is also used a lot for like book groups and
Yep.
reader groups. So that's why I've got my Facebook account. Instagram is probably where I spend 80% of my time though, and
Yes.
then TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok is an enemy.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel
Me
you.
now because I make an edit and then I put it on Instagram and then I go to share it on TikTok and it adds like an AI label. And I'm like, it's not AI and you can't remove it. And so I straight away delete it because I'm
Delete it.
like, I don't want anything accusing me of using AI.
So annoying.
But it's because I've used a graphic on Canva or like my artist has put a picture who my artist has clearly drawn from scratch, but the algorithm has gone, oh, I'm just going to put an AI label here in case.
I find the whole app really clunky to use, in my opinion. I don't find it user friendly. And also, I feel like I've done myself a disservice, weirdly enough, by putting my account as like a business account because now I'm limited to what sounds I can use on like the browser. It's really frustrating, and I cannot work out for the life of me how to change it back. Am I doing something wrong if I change it back? And I'm just like, I give up. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
just put the videos there and just call it a day. And if it comes up with AI, then I'll delete it and then repost it. I'm the same as you. It does that for me as well with the AI
Yeah.
stuff because it's
It's
not.
it's frustrating. And I know like I've got the friends that I follow, but then it starts giving me all these like if I don't click friends, then my algorithm's just showing me suggestions. And I was
Oh
like,
my
why
God.
am I seeing a whole bunch of heated rivalry videos? Oh, because my friends spam me my inbox with them. So then I have to like go to the friends page to get all the book talk stuff.
Nah.
And yeah,
It doesn't even
yeah.
show me book related stuff anymore. You know, I've been getting because of the clear aligner journey that I've been on with my teeth. All I get are teeth videos. I'm like, I
That's
don't
what we want.
I
That's
don't
not
want,
your audience.
yeah, that's right. It's not my audience at all. I'm not making teeth content, okay? Sorry, everyone.
Uh,
But anyway, TikTok will always be a bit of an enemy. Sorry about that, TikTok, but we make do what we can
yeah.
do with
And
our social.
I
Yeah.
I have people following on there and slightly interacting, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone past more than like 300, 400 views on a
Yep.
video.
Yeah. And you
And I'm
just
like, it didn't get me anywhere. Did it bring someone to my website? Did it bring someone to a sale? I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe
Maybe.
they've gotten like a Kindle version
Mm,
on Amazon or something, but
look,
because
you
you just
never
don't
know. You
know.
you
Yeah.
just don't know sometimes. And I've probably told this story before about how there was a bookshop that reached out to me based in Victor Harbor, which was this Squirrel and Sparrow, and they
Mm.
found me from a TikTok video. And in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, that video with 4 likes. Yeah, no, it's getting somewhere.
That's good. I would take that as a win.
You just never know. And that's also another testament to why and I'm the same as you, where I will still have my Facebook author page. I will still have social media profiles that I can auto post content to, because you just never know where your audience prefers to view. And it really doesn't take that much for me to just, post and all that stuff. And I use a social media organizer website to go and auto
Yes.
post.
I've
Yes.
listened to you speak about this
Mm,
before on a couple of other your episodes, and I've
yeah.
never really looked because it's a third party app that
Hmm.
kind of does it. And I was like,
Yeah.
does it work? Like, because you know how
Yeah.
everyone says each app has its own algorithm, so it prefers you to post separately. It's like if you
Yeah.
actually upload your videos to TikTok rather than use the TikTok
Yes.
video to record it, apparently
Mm.
it won't go as far. And I was like, I'm not recording the same video on Instagram and on
Well,
TikTok.
this
And
is it. Yeah, I think I've done it because I'm time poor. And so
yeah.
I just kind of go, it is what it is. I'm going to use it as I find the tool, because I use Plan, which is PLANN. And that is really handy for uploading content. And I won't necessarily go ahead and post from like the scheduler. But what you can do is curate how it's going to look on your feed. So we'll give you an example of how you upload it. And you can write one thing as well is that I prefer using a desktop setup to write and post and upload photos and all that stuff onto there, because I just find, well, I've got RSI in my wrist and I hate like typing on my phone. So getting on a keyboard is super helpful. And when I can do that, I'm just typing away on the on Plan for each of my social media posts, and you can duplicate the posts onto your different social media platforms. But you can also do this. You don't have to automatically post from the platform. There's an option where you can do copy and post. And so, you've got the app I've got the Plan app on here on my phone, and I go in and then I can do copy and post, and it will copy my caption that I've written already on it, and it will download that content onto my camera roll, and then I can just go post from there if I want to do that. But sometimes the scheduler tool, especially for podcasts and all the little reels that I do from there, I find that to be quite helpful so that I can auto post things to go, and then I'm not having to be constantly on my phone, because I think that's where I work best, is not on my phone all the time. But it's hard when we have to market.
It's hard. Even
Anyway,
like,
anyway, yeah.
again, I think it's a generational thing, but I'm around my parents and they're like, you're always on your phone. And I was like, it's literally work now.
It's
Like,
work.
it
Yeah.
is work. You don't realize like the checking in, the commenting, the replying, it's all
Yes.
building a name, it's building a brand.
Yes.
And the couple of times I've had a social media break, I've had
Oh,
this real like sense of FOMO, like what's happening?
yeah.
All of a sudden, there's a new event that I've missed out on. There's an EOI that's gone out. There's an author getting cancelled for something, and you're like, what
Oh,
if they?
what
Oh,
have
I
I
don't
missed?
do it. Like, yeah, you just go, okay, all
I can't
right.
keep up. I'm the first to admit it. I just can't keep up, and I just go, someone talk to me and fill me in, and then this stuff, because I don't even know. I don't even have my notifications on my phone for Instagram and Messenger and all that, because I think, look, that's just a personal preference where I just kind of
Yeah.
go, it's too much. But I know that we say that like, oh, we feel like we're missing out, we're doing that stuff. Rachel, you're doing an excellent job keeping on top of so many different things that you've got to give yourself some credit. We cannot be everywhere all at once.
No, we can't.
Please.
They cannot take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard. But
Yeah.
also, the most important thing is the products. Well, I say products, but they're more than products, which is the creations of the writing that you're doing, which does bring me into something else that I want to touch on, which is your beautiful special editions of some of your publications that you have rebirthed into the world. So I'd love to get into the details around the creation of these special editions. Oh my goodness.
Honestly, I still don't believe they're mine. It's one of those things.
Mm,
I don't even think they
mm,
came like a couple of days before Christmas. They just
mm.
arrived. 21 boxes got delivered. And I'm
Oh,
seeing, yeah, it was a lot.
wow.
And
Yeah.
I had family over, so I couldn't even like enjoy it then and there. It was like put the
Yes.
boxes away and then go back to the family function.
Yes.
And then that night I'm going through them and I'm just like,
Wow.
this has my name on it. This is my book. This book looks like it's something that I should have bought it at a proper bookshop. And
Wow.
I couldn't even process. I don't think I still do because it just,
Yeah.
like everything, it happens so quick and you kind of move on to the next thing. And we shouldn't be doing
Yes.
that. It
But
was
it's
like
it's the
they're
nature
here.
of it.
It's
Yeah.
like it's done.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a very wild
Yeah.
thing to see them in person and hold them and take the 8 months of planning it took to get these special editions
Yes.
and finally have them.
Eight
Yeah, I
months.
still don't believe that they're mine, that's for sure.
Well, it was a process, but the final product is just stunning. Like I think about seeing them and I'm lucky enough that I've been able to see them in the flesh. It took my
Yeah.
breath away because they were so thought out and also the colors that were chosen, like right from the details of the colors that were chosen to the way that the finish of the special editions looks. Like it does have a I don't know whether satin is the right word or maybe there's a particular print term for it, but it is like a soft reflective look to the covers, which are just beautiful. I just
Yeah.
can't get it like,
The saturation was kind of toned down on the dust jackets,
ah,
yeah, to the original covers. So
mm,
the dust jacket picture is printed inside the book. I
yep.
had my artist design two new pieces of artwork for each book.
Mm.
I got her to do a suitable for work and then a not suitable for work.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we put the suitable for work on the front dust jacket, then the not suitable was reversible. So for those that,
Oh my
can display
goodness.
it or want to see it, some don't, some do, but the option was there.
Yeah.
And
But you thought about all the little details for that.
yeah, I
Rachel,
took
it's
into
amazing.
account everything. The people that say, I want discreet, I want naughty, I want this. And I was
Yeah.
like, how can I give it to everyone? So
Wow.
I love the classical material based hardcover books that
Yeah.
have, the embossing foils, like love that. That's
Beautiful.
costly and also hard to find who make them. So I was like, let's
Oh,
replicate it. Let's replicate it. So my
wow.
hardcover looks like that. The like it looks like it's a material, but it's just, a standard hardcover.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
way the color palette was done.
Mm,
And then I did, yeah, the foiling to make
mm.
it very discreet, very classical. You've got the title, and then you've got on the back the just a blurb, or not a
Yeah.
blurb, like a quote. And then it's just got a little picture, like a little icon that kind of correlates with the book, whether it's a teddy bear, whether it's a coconut, whether it's some
Yeah.
wings. I just wanted to bring in the element, the theme for each book. And that was the base for the hardcover. So that one was
Wow.
that the only real trouble I had with that was picking, I guess, how detailed I wanted the
Yeah.
border to be because you have a issue when it comes to foiling that it's very easy to chip off if it's very
Yeah.
thin or like,
Mm,
delicate detailing.
yeah.
They always suggest you want thick, you want bold,
Yeah.
like stuff that it can really kind of stick on with.
Yeah.
Um, So that was the first thing that I really had to take into account when getting it designed, and then the
Mm.
font. And then when the dust jacket came into play, it was the same thing because we used foiling on the dust jacket. So it was finding fonts that would work with that and not
Yep.
be too thin and dainty and cursive.
Yeah.
And then use the artwork. And my artist, God, I love her.
Beautiful.
Um,
Beautiful
she
stuff.
did she did
Yeah.
phenomenal. She did 8 pieces of art within like a few months. It was, yeah, I think she did
Woo!
like, she was doing
Amazing.
2 a month for me. So it was costly, and she was like on the ball, but I had
Yeah.
booked her in. I was like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to need. Are you like, can you schedule it? Does it work? She goes, yep, let's do this.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
And
You were
yeah,
very
it was just,
accommodating as well, asking those questions. Can I just say, as a commission person myself, I love it when authors are like, this is the expectations of the dates of when I want. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Give me the dates and I can work with that. Don't just go. And I'm thankful that I haven't had, any interactions of people that have been unrealistic with their deadlines. But as I will just say, I appreciate that you went ahead and laid out your expectations straight up.
I did that pretty much from the get-go. I said,
Yeah.
I am planning special editions. I need artwork. Where in your schedule can you fit this in? This is
Yeah.
what I need. And then I knew those dates. So then I was like, okay, so now I work with the formatter. And what are your dates for formatting the inside for me and getting the graphics? Then I need to go to my printer and be like, how long is it going to take you to print these? I'm going to want them by this book event, and then taking shit. You have to like,
Ooh.
that's why it took 8 months. It was
Yeah.
contact printers before I even had files because I was like, what's your time frame? Then you go to your companies that are going to be producing your files for you. And I'd be like, now what's yours? There is so much planning that I don't think people take into account if you want it to all be consistent and flow. And it is probably why I wrote Pretending in Paradise, because it was constant. Like
Yeah.
every night I'd go to sit and write. And that's when my artist was getting back to me because she was in Europe. And that's when my formatter was needing me to check over files. So at night, I was doing this and then going back to her going, yep, let's do this. Let's change this one. This one's not correct.
Wow.
And it just breaks up the flow of what you had planned for the day. It's
Yeah.
a huge, huge process, but it was so rewarding.
Oh, it is. You
Yeah.
have absolutely knocked it out the park. And I would implore anyone that is going to a book event and knows that you are going to be there, Rachel, please go and check out your entire suite of books and products and all that stuff. But pay attention to the special edition because I think it got me excited because it really shows the possibilities are endless for self-publishing in particular. And I
Yeah.
know that's just something that, again, there is a stereotype with self-published authors and independent authors that sometimes the output is something that is seen as, and this is in air quotes, lesser than traditionally published books and all that stuff. But really, that is a myth now. That is complete false because not only as a base level, a lot of most self-published authors are very particular about the publications and the quality of the publications that they put out there. But you, Rachel, are taking it the next level by saying, this is what's possible, and I'm going to show you as a self-published author that I have complete creative control to bring my vision to life. And it is such a success story. I'm obsessed with, as you can tell. It's just
It is, and
beautiful.
you know what? It makes it so hard too when now you walk into Kmart and Big W and you've got a paperback that has sprayed edges and foiling,
Yeah.
and they're selling it
Mm.
for $20, and you just go, "Ugh, okay, how do I,
No.
market this now to, so you need to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
something that a book lover wants to cherish, wants to have on their shelf, wants to
Yeah.
appreciate on top of a really well captivated story.
Yeah,
You
that's
need to now have
right.
both. So yes, it is so, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Look, it doesn't
You
come
know,
easy.
no, it's not easy at all, and it takes a lot of time and thought and effort, but it's so well put out. And I think these days you look at book boxes where people are willing to spend 80, $90 for just one
Yeah.
special edition box. And I
Mm.
sit there going, well, you know, I'm about to give you my most expensive special edition, Be My Saving Grace. She's chunky.
Yep.
Everyone knows she's like a 500-page book.
Hmm.
And then you add all those little details you've had to pay to make that a special edition. It
Yeah.
is one of my most pricier books.
Yep.
But I go, people that are in the book community understand why it's at
Exactly.
that price.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. And people they want that and they're happy to pay for it because it's a work of art. I
mm,
think you need to charge accordingly for what you put in to
yeah,
your work. Big
we're
advocate
not
of that.
getting paid for the hours we're sitting up on the computer writing, editing, going back and forth with our companies. We're not getting paid for any of that. We get paid for the day that it's published and someone goes, "Can I please have this book?" And you go, "Yes, you can."
Yes, you can.
And that's our payday. So it's
That's
a
it.
lot different to traditional where,
Yeah.
they might get an advancement,
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah.
might get, a cut of sales, and those sales go out the door because every bookstore around the world's taking
Mm.
2,000 copies straight off the bat. It's a
Hmm.
lot harder, but
Yeah.
we work so damn more for it, and we appreciate it so much more because we've had to put in that work. One
That's right.
sale means the world to us because,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a lot of work, but it's also your legacy too, as the author that you are, because you're putting this out there as an expression of your creativity, your passion for what you're doing, and you've done it in the way that you wanted to, which is the beauty of self-publishing. That's probably
yeah,
the biggest pull to why I really enjoy being a self-published author, and I think that's the same with a lot of people in
mm,
this world is that complete creative control is so important in this world where it feels like, there are, I guess, companies that want to poach some of the ideas that you have and restrict you from that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But when you are self-published, it's all on you.
And they turn around going, "You've done book one, it's done great. We need book two now," while the hype is still high, and you go, "Book one took me this long to write." Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so,
and then you get
yeah.
like a half-written story or something that, has a cover that's not as great as the first cover because they've just wanted to push it out quickly, and
Yeah.
all the other little factors that you read online, that the readers that are, so disappointed because it's just been pushed, pushed, pushed.
Yeah, the commodification part of it. I mean, there's so much that we could get into with the
Oh yeah.
commodification of art in general. But a clear example that you see that is like Netflix series and television series in general, where they're all of a sudden you really enjoyed the first season and then the second season is just like, oh.
Well, not only that, now Netflix have seen where they've gone wrong. They built on being a platform where you can binge. Well, if everyone binges in a week, people stop talking about it by week two, don't they?
They
So now
do.
we're getting, here's part one, here's part two, and you go,
I don't want to do
no.
that. No.
The point is, I get it all at once.
I want it all at once and then I want to consume it all the time. I want it to be
Yeah,
the fixation in my head, but I don't
yeah.
want to be. And that's why I just get like so confused about the next big like TV show that's come out and then I'm just like, oh, I haven't even finished whatever I was up to in anyway, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Can't keep up.
No, no, we can't.
But
Yeah.
anyway, we make do. We
It's
make do.
impossible. And when we write, we don't have time for anything else.
No,
What's
that's
TV?
it.
What's reading books?
Well,
Like,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah, but there's also such a joy in being able to do what we want to do on our own terms. So we'll always have that to
I love it.
harken back to. But I did want to get into some other kind of things related to your experience of being a self-published author, which is book signings. And you are everywhere in this world. And you are at so many book events, but one particular book event that I do want to get into was your first international book signing, which was
Yes,
yes, a romantic adventure, which was in Christchurch, New Zealand. Tell
I
me
know.
everything about that experience. Oh my God.
Do you know what? It was wild because I signed up to that event. I was a very, very new author because we signed up 2 years before the event even happened. That's when the EOI went out. And
Wow.
I said to my husband, I was like, oh, this will be, a good little experience and a little holiday away, that type of thing, if I get it. And the fact that it was meant to be small, I think they were looking at maybe 40, 50 authors total.
Yep.
They had 200 authors sign up.
What?
So then they're like, okay, we're going to make this a little bit bigger because
Yeah.
it's very hard picking 40 out of 200.
It's
But
impossible.
then even just to get chosen out of 200 authors, I was just like, wow, because
Special.
I think I had two books at the time,
Mm.
maybe with my third on the way. Like it was very, very early days for me.
Yep.
Um, so that alone was like a huge honor, and I was like, wow, this is really exciting. And then as it gets closer, you realize how daunting it is because there is so much we don't realize behind the scenes for international events.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah, taking payment, going through customs, getting your
Yeah.
stock over there. There is a lot that I think there are when was
Mm.
it? So the event was in March. I
Yep.
think I spent a lot of January, I'd say at least 2 weeks, just looking into payment options, my stock, what was the best way to do it.
My God.
And I think I went with just doing my luggage, being international. I got 30 kilos. Me
Yes.
and my husband were going. So they were like, all
Got
right,
two.
60 kilos. How much can I
Awesome.
get in 60 kilos?
Yeah.
Um,
That's a
that
good amount. Like 30 kilos alone for one person, that is really, really good. So, did you have to pay like extra on top of your ticket to get that amount? No, it's included. Oh, okay,
I
cool.
was very lucky. Sorry. It was all
Nice.
done and I made it work. I was literally my bag was 30. My husband was exactly 30. Our carry-on was exactly 10. Like we were at the max. Um, and what made it more, I guess, tricky is being my saving grace is literally like a kilo for one book.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So I sat there
hard.
going, okay.
Oh,
So yeah, the experience alone was incredible.
yeah.
Seeing there were authors from America there, there were readers that flew in from America,
Oh
which
my
was
God.
mind-blowing. One of them
What?
stopped at my table,
Oh,
and they were like, I wanted to bring like a gift, and because I was from America, they were like, you like Disney, don't you? And I was like, I love Disney. So they gave me like Disney stickers, and they were like, it's something
oh,
that, you can't get, and it's from where I am. And I was like,
that is, oh my God, that is so
yeah,
special. So
it's just
special. Oh,
signings are my favorite thing to do for
yeah,
interacting with readers. And it
yeah,
was amazing. It was daunting.
yeah, yeah.
And I probably won't do one for another couple of
No,
years.
that's probably a good idea.
But
Yeah.
it was a great way to broaden my name. And that was the reason I was going
Yeah.
because meeting people who live in New Zealand to find here's another romance author that you might not know. Please have a go. Here's my books,
Yep.
that was the main reason I was going. Sales, awesome. Happened, great. If they didn't, hi, here's my name, here's
That's it.
me, here's where you can find me. Yeah.
Yeah, because you do find that when you are in the in-person events, the connections happen and they're so much more rewarding than necessarily, again, with the 2-second like on a post. And when
Yeah.
you get to talk to someone, it doesn't even matter if they buy your book or whatever. If they talk to you and go, "Oh, I really love your stuff," then you know that like, oh, that just means so much when you get to have that interaction. And with international signings, like again, I mean, I have one coming up next month, which I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's going to be, yes. But luckily it is in New Zealand. And I say luckily because with Australia and New Zealand, like, of course,
Yeah.
there's a lot of differences, but we do have like a bit of privilege in some ways with getting through. It's recognized
Your
passports and
sister country. They're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, we know you. We know you.
we know
So
you.
We know you
I'm
and
gonna
what you're
skip and a
about.
jump.
You know, healthcare system's pretty similar. So, if you get
Yeah,
sick, you're not going to be too stuck
yeah,
out on a
you're right.
limb. Yeah, exactly. But I think with New Zealand, I will say if you are based in Australia and you do want to give an international signing a go, I think New Zealand is a great option because there's
Mm,
so many what do you call it? Intercontinent, no, what do you call international benefits between each of the countries where, of course, like going through customs and you have to fly to New Zealand. You can't, get a train or drive or anything like that. So that is probably the one catch when it comes to international signings for Australia,
mm.
where you do have to
I had
fly.
been looking into signing in
Mm.
the USA, and then
Oh,
obviously everything
yeah.
that had been going on with
Yes.
Trump in the early days,
Oh,
with
mm.
LGBTQ
This is
authors,
it.
readers, everything like that. I was like, nope, this is not a
Yeah, I don't think it's a
option for me
safe.
right now.
Yeah. Which is a
Um,
shame.
so yeah, so I was kind of thankful that I had experienced New Zealand first
Yes.
because it did give me that little bit of like a, well, this is what I can expect if I do decide
Mm.
to go a little bit further next time. Canada,
Yeah.
maybe. I would love to do a signing in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but yeah, it was definitely a this is what you need next time plus
Yeah.
because
Yes. I mean, what would you
yeah.
do next time differently if you could have your time again? Well, I'm sure there will be another one, but what would you
Yeah,
do
so
differently?
next time I do my special editions as a buy at table
Yep.
exclusive,
Hmm.
which might eventually change, but the reason being is that the pre-order systems we use take a hell of a chunk in your sales. So that is why I don't generally put them up. But
Yep.
yeah, if I was going international, I would probably offer everything available for a pre-order, not
Yep.
just buy at the table.
Yep.
And I would just say, look, unfortunately, I've had to bump the price up a little bit, but at least you're guaranteed you're going to get it.
Yes.
Because being international, I can't bring a lot of stock.
That's it.
There were a few people that, yeah, missed out because I had only like five, where normally I'd bring 15,
Yeah.
things like that. Uh, I would
Mm.
probably next time as well, look at bringing a little bit more variety because people don't know who I was. So when I
Oh,
asked in the
okay.
Facebook group, would people prefer special editions or paper books,
Yes.
paperbacks? Everyone said special editions.
Right.
But then you have a currency conversion. So your book's
Mm.
going to be that little bit more pricier.
Yeah.
And then when someone's walking past your table, they've never heard of you, they've never read you, spending that type of money can be a little bit daunting. And I would
Yes.
totally understand that.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
normal.
next time, yeah, I would bring a little bit, maybe like
Like an
40,
entryway
60.
sort of thing.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
have that option there because there were people that were like, "Oh, you're on Kindle, awesome. I'm going to read you and then come back and get a book." But if I had had maybe a paperback there, they might have just gone, "I'll grab a paper book." Like that's not going to be a huge expense if
Oh,
I
it's
don't end up
hard.
enjoying your work. So that was something I learned that I'll take into account next time I do an international as well.
Wow,
Mm.
that's really interesting because it is one of those things where you don't, with any book event, you don't really know what people are looking for. And you did a really good job by, putting it out there, asking, oh, what would people prefer? So special
Mm.
editions are part of it. But for the people that are just casual, they just want to pop in and see, they don't know who is at the event. They've never heard of a lot of these authors and they see you and go, oh, I really want something. Gosh, it's hard. Like you just don't know what to bring. And so with like your books, did you also stock like the same amount of merch that you usually would for like domestic book events, or was it a bit different for this
I
international one?
took the same I took all my merch except for one of the lines that I carry. I didn't take all the variants that I have of it.
Okay.
I just kind of took, I know this one sells really well. I know this one kind of works for what the brand of this event is. I'll just stock this one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I sold out of it on the day, so I
Wow.
picked correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that. But like what I notice at every event is you cannot plan
No.
for your most popular thing. So, for example, one event, little one might be my bestseller. It
Yep.
sells out, most of the time, especially people that buy the bundle where they get the coloring book and the book.
Ah,
And
the
then,
bundles.
for internet for this particular event, I found that my bestseller was my rom-com, Pretending in Paradise. Like that's what people wanted. And I go,
Just don't know.
how can you plan
You
when,
can't.
everywhere it's just different. So you kind of just got to evenly take stock, I think, of everything and just see what people want and have options in case you do sell out. Just say
Yes.
you can buy online and I'll throw in some artwork or
Yeah.
I can discount your shipping a little, something to say, sorry, but please continue buying because some people will walk away and be like, I'm not going to bother
Yeah.
buying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was in the moment. I would have paid for it, but then they walk away and forget.
Yes. Having a
Um,
plan of what to do if you do sell out, I think is paramount. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I think too, for international, something you've got to take into account too, maybe not so much with New Zealand, but for, you know, the hopes of one day doing Canada or the States, they can get things so much cheaper over there too. Like I was talking to
Yes.
these
Mm.
lovely authors at Christchurch who are from the United States. And they're like, oh yeah, like we have heaps of stickers because stickers only cost us like 25 cents. And they're the little die cut ones.
Oh my
And
God.
there was three of us and we were like, a die cut sticker cost us $2
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
like
legit.
that. Oh, what? And we go, yeah. Unless we bought like a huge batch, like any company here that sell die cut stickers.
Yeah.
So, we are like, hey, we've got this special edition and it's cost us XYZ.
Yeah.
And then we have to mark it up and then we have to, maybe convert it. But
Yep.
over in America, they can probably get a
Can't get
special
it.
edition made up for maybe $10.
It's
And
crazy. Crazy
you
how
go,
good
how
that
can
is.
I
Yeah.
compete with that? So
It's
that's
a
another
difference.
thing to probably
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have to take into account while traveling. It's
Yep.
what's gonna sell, what's gonna market, that
Yeah.
type of thing.
It's a
Yeah.
unique
It's
situation,
hard.
but it's also really special that you've been able to
Yeah.
do that. So, look, the US will happen, Canada will happen, and I can't wait to see it. So I can already
Oh,
see, yeah, it's just going to be up and up and up for yourself. I
it's
should
been
get into the last part of this wonderful, wonderful chat that we've had today. What is next for Rachel O'Rourke? Tell us what is on the horizon, your next book events. Let us know.
yes. All right, so I will be at a Thousand Lives Book Convention, which is on April 18th in Melbourne. I think a particular host will be there with me.
Oh, yes, someone will be there. Yeah, might just have to see if she's free for that one. But yes, I'll see you there.
So I've got that one in April. I've got in May, I'll be in Adelaide at the
Ara.
a romantic fair. Yes.
Yes.
Then I've got a little bit of break in June, July, because that's when we start writing book two in
Oh,
my Omegaverse trilogy. So I'll also have the actual official release because that's at the end of June. So in the meantime, I do have a launch box currently available for pre-order for Until He Found Him. So it's an exclusive box full of merchandise that kind of immerses
mm.
you in this world I've created. It's got candles, it's got exclusive artwork and bookmarks and acrylic signs and some little gifts in there if you find the right codes at the right time. So just keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out.
Uh, and then I'm off to the sunny Gold Coast in August. Yes, my
Amazing.
my first time visiting the Gold Coast, so I'm excited to meet
Oh.
readers up there.
Oh, you'll love it. Yeah,
Mm.
I love the Gold Coast.
So Love on the Beach, Saturday, August 1st. That's a 2-day event, but I'm only there on the Saturday.
Yep.
And then I'll be at the
Mm.
Bookworm, indie bookworm event
On
in
the 10th.
August 9th.
Oh, ninth, sorry.
Yes.
Yes, ninth. Yep.
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 9th. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a Sunday.
Sunday.
And
Yep.
then my last one for the year is in Bendigo at Secret Pages.
Secrets in the pages.
Yeah.
My goodness. Looks like
So
we're
it was
going to
a
see each
very
other a
big year
lot.
for events this year, which I kind of did on purpose after
Yeah.
smashing out the books, getting my special editions. I was like, let's go, spread my name, meet people, go to all
Yes.
these events. 2027 will be a bit more slow again.
Yeah.
Not many events that I'll be attending.
It's
And then
fine.
going hard in the 2028.
Oh my goodness. So you've already planned what's happening in 2027, 2028. Wow, this is just exactly why I mentioned at the start that things are just going to keep going up and up and up for you, Rachel, because you have a vision and you execute it. And it really shows in everything that you do that you are purposeful, particular, but also very passionate about what you're doing. So it's inspiring. And I hope that people listening or watching to this show today really see the effort that you put into it and how the limits are non-existent for what you can achieve in self-publishing. So you are a
Thank
testament of what is possible, Rachel.
you.
Thank you for everything that you've shared today.
If you've got a passion, if you've got a drive, you just got to stick with it. You've got to plan strategically, plan to what
Yep.
works in your budget, your current like lifestyle and everything like that. But
Yeah.
you got to follow through, you got to stick with it, and you just got
Mm,
to keep going. And
that's it.
I'm loving what I'm doing and I want to make it possible. And I know that these are the elements that I need to include to make that happen. And that's what I'm doing.
That's it, and you're succeeding. And it is, yeah, it's so inspiring, so inspiring. I look up to you in
Thank
so many ways, Rachel.
you.
Can't wait to see you on the
Yeah,
18th of April. But with
yeah.
that, I should say again, thank you for being on the show. And I hope that everyone that has been listening and watching enjoyed all your wonderful discussions that you've had. So go follow Rachel on TikTok, on Instagram, and check out your website too. Also Facebook.
Yeah.
There's a link tree. Are you on Threads as well?
I'm on Threads.
Yep.
Occasionally I'm on there. My website has a newsletter, which the
Newsletter.
newsletter, you'll get everything first and you get things that don't even hit social media. So that's the place to be, definitely.
Got to get on it. Go see Rachel at all these events. And with that, thank you, Rachel, for being
Thank
on the show
you.
today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much for watching the Indie Author Live show. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to know more about my own literary journey or the journey of some of our guests that you might have seen on the show, please consider subscribing or following my Substack or my YouTube channel. Finally, if you want to know more about my novel, Still Waters Run Deep, it is available on many distribution websites such as Amazon, Etsy, Baventi, you name it. All that information will be in the show notes if you're interested in learning more about my story to do with elemental magic and coming of age. Take care, everyone, and see you in the next episode.